I was gonna ask you like who would you have a Shirley Temple with?
You can
Voldemort?
ask who would you rather have a beer with, and I would understand the context of the question.
Well, this is how you would.
I
have
would
like,
say
well,
something
first
like,
off,
first
I don't
off-
like beer. That's what you would have said. So, who would you rather have a
Who
Shirley
would I rather have a
Temple
root beer with? Who are my options? Voldemort?
with? Trump or Voldemort?
Voldemort, for sure. He could tell me so much shit, and then he would murder me. But like, I would learn so much about the magical world and stuff. We already started. That was weird. Hey, we in. We in.
Hello, people.
We in. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Chris and Cobb Show. He's Chris, and I'm Kyle. And we're here to talk about stuff.
I've had a good week, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah, really good week.
Hey, let me tell the people about our stuff.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Because we've got a poll up. We're doing a special anime poll this month because neither of us really watched that much anime. I caught up on My Hero Academia recently, like a couple weeks ago.
I've never seen it.
I like that show a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like that show a lot.
One of my Navy buddies really likes it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, a poll between two classic, really well-respected and liked animes that are short enough that we'll be able to watch them and do an episode on them by the end of the month. Cowboy Bebop and Neon Genesis Evangelion. Right now, Cowboy Bebop has a big lead in the poll. So if you want to see Neon Genesis Evangelion make a surging comeback, hop over to Facebook or Twitter to vote.
I think it's definitely the one that probably more of our audience members have seen, right?
Cowboy Bebop, for sure.
It's way more popular.
Yeah, for sure. I also saw the last episode of the first season of One Punch Man with no context.
Mm-hmm.
I just went over to a friend's house and they were watching it, and I was like, I will finish watching this episode with you.
Yeah.
It was fucking weird. It's really weird.
Yeah. What's your favorite anime? Like, how weird do you get?
I've gotten no weirder than, like, My Hero Academia is like the deepest I've ever got. Like, I watched Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid. I watched like Zoids and stuff when I was a kid, like stuff like that. I've watched like all the Pokemon and Digimon stuff, a bunch of that. But other than that, I've never really gotten into anime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I probably watched a little bit more anime, but I'm still like on the anime scale, I'm like
Death
a
Note?
3. Yeah, I've seen all of Death Note. Like a majority of the way through Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, is it good?
I like it a lot. It's not like Death Note is very much like if you're like a typical American and you're not like really used to a lot of like the anime language, and I'm not talking about like
that's one of the biggest
what you're
problems that
saying,
I have with anime.
but yeah, just like
is the cultural difference.
Yeah, well, the different elements of like how they of how anime is done, you know, and how it's composed, through the medium of anime, you know, like that's not the medium, but like the genre, you know, it's its own thing, and it has its own things that like are kind of strange. But Death Note is very easily translatable. It's just to me, I think that it's just a really good psychological thriller.
Yeah,
and it doesn't have like a lot of like weird, when someone gets embarrassed, like the entire background doesn't change, and then their face.
They don't get nosebleeds when they're horny.
Yeah,
weird shit.
There's not a lot of that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Full Metal Alchemist has a lot of that.
Yeah. I've heard Full Metal Alchemist is like a really cool. Does it have like a magic system that's really cool, or something like a power system? Well, of some kind.
So, I'm not sure if this is as much a D&D thing or as it is a writing thing, but like the hard and soft systems.
That's
of
Brandon
magics.
Sanderson's laws of magic.
Yeah, it's very much a hard system of magic.
Yeah,
like it's very specific rules, and literally every episode starts off with like telling you the rules.
Yeah, okay, that's what I've heard of then. I've heard it as a very cool magic system. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've wanted to watch that,
and it's also, I mean, I like the characters in it. Fucking has probably one of the most like tragic and fucked up episodes I've ever seen.
Really?
in any TV show, anime or otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started it a few years ago. It like, and maybe got like 10, 15 episodes in, and then stopped. And then I started it again, like, and then on my second time through, I only got like 75% of the way through. So maybe I have to start it again.
Oh my God.
I go all the way through again. But I remember both times that I watched it, like that specific episode having a really profound effect on me. And it just really it's like heartbreaking.
I feel like I might like Naruto if I watched it.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't really know shit about Naruto.
I don't know a lot about it, but like I have like friends who like Naruto that like things that I like. You know, like I would trust them. Like Terrence is the person who told me I would like My Hero Academia. But like a big reason I like that is because I love superhero stuff, and that's what it is. It's a world full of superheroes where it's basically like let's take like the Harry Potter idea of a school with a superhero world and smash them together, but make it an anime. So it's a weird show, but I really like it. It's fun. So vote on the poll to make us watch Cowboy Bebop or Neon Genesis Evangelion. And send us questions. Any question your heart desires.
All of the questions, please.
Ask us for life advice and then don't follow it. Like, we'll give you bad advice.
And you can use this as a reverse barometer.
Exactly. Like, we'll give you advice and then just do the opposite. And that's probably what you should do. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Or other stuff. You can ask us.
Don't follow your dreams, kids.
Please don't be my neighbor. Famous quote from Mr. Rogers.
That was fucking stupid.
Mr. Rogers. First he was calling me Mr. Rogers. Then it became Mr. Rogers. Do you remember that bit from The Office?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
Michael calls Daryl. For some reason, he calls him Mr. Rogers. It's so weird. But he like talks about how the nickname like devolved from his real name to becoming Mr. Rogers. I love that show. All right. You said you had a really good week. Why's your week so good?
I just watched a shit ton of movies, dude.
Yeah, you've been watching a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I watched a shit ton of movies. Should I go worst to first? Or first to worst?
Of movies you watched this week?
It sucks because like all of them are fairly good. I'll start with the worst one that I saw.
Okay.
Right. And it's not even bad. I enjoyed it, and it made me like want to read comics more. I watched Justice League Dark. Talk to you.
I wanted to ask you about that because I think I've seen it, but I'm not 100% sure that I've seen it. I knew because you told me you were watching it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It makes me want to read Hellblazer a lot, like John Constantine shit, because it's Alan Moore, so I want to read all of his shit before I die. I would like to read all of Alan Moore's stuff.
You're running out of time.
Yeah. But yeah, so like it's got John Constantine, Zatanna, Swamp Thing is in it.
So I guessed a pretty good. Was Etrigan the Demon in it?
Who?
Etrigan the Demon.
Is that the dude that rhymes?
Yep.
And then turns into a demon?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's pretty fun.
Yep.
He's a fun character.
Do you remember the classic Justice League episode with him? Oh, it's a fucking dope episode.
No.
Fucking Morgan Le Fay.
Is he the villain?
No, he's like Batman's homie. He like shows up and he's like, Batman, I need your help. And Batman's like, what? And he's like, yo, Morgan Le Fay's here. She's fucking evil as shit. And she's like got this fucking little bitch boy of a son. And he's like, give me everything I want. And he's a fucking shithead. Right. And then they beat them. It's a dope episode.
Weirdest thing about Justice League Dark is that like I feel like it's unnecessarily rated R.
So I was going to say that the DC animated stuff lately has been very hit or miss. I would say for the past like 5 years or so. Yeah. Very hit or miss. They've really leaned into this sort of like edgy, like you said, unnecessarily rated R kind of stuff. And it's like
when I was watching
sometimes it works,
like, why is this rated R?
Sometimes it's like, why are you doing this? Like, well, like you were saying, like it doesn't even like it could be rated PG-13 the way it is, or they're doing things unnecessarily to make it an R rating.
No. I feel like it could be PG-13 the way it is.
Do they cuss?
I don't remember. Like I don't remember them cussing.
Is there like there's blood and stuff though?
Yeah.
I think if you make something animated in this, I think if you make something animated and it's like bloody, I think it might just become rated R. I'm not sure, but like just in general, the DC animated stuff lately, it's been rough. Like I feel like they've had a hard time since the mid 2000s when they made the Justice League show and Superman the animated series and Batman the animated series.
was the fucking
Before
golden
that,
age,
the
dude.
golden age of DC's animated stuff, and they made a bunch of great movies in that time as well, like Batman: Mask of the Phantasm and the Return of the Joker, Batman Beyond movie, and Superman All Star is really good.
That was like the only
Or All Star Superman All Star.
that got a theatrical release, right? Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes,
I want to say it did.
it's debatably the best Batman movie ever.
I haven't seen it.
People will make that argument.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make that argument
What
because
would
I
you
think
say?
The Dark Knight is.
Oh,
I said Batman movie.
Oh.
I said Batman.
Batman.
Movie. People will make that argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember Batman Sub-Zero? I watched that movie so many times.
I don't think I've seen.
That's
it.
the one with Mr. Freeze, and they have the climactic battle out on an oil rig, and he's got like polar bears and stuff. Dude, I watched that movie a lot when I was younger.
I didn't see that.
Had it at my grandma's house. I would watch it all the time. But like the DC animated universe lately, it's been doing that thing where you're talking about like it's unnecessarily rated R or PG, and they're just making things like edgier and grittier, like for no reason, seemingly. Like it's just kind of dumb. And then like there's like weird sexual shit in some of them. Like there's a weird scene in the beginning of the Suicide Squad movie where like Harley Quinn fucks Deadshot, and it's just kind of weird. There's a fucking scene where Batgirl has sex with Batman. And they did an animated version of The Killing Joke, and they added stuff to it. And that's one of the things they added from the original story, and it's super weird, super unnecessary, makes no sense. It's gross. Fucking, it's so wrong on so many levels. It's like, yo, that is like the girlfriend of the dude who you have raised as a son, and you're having sex with her on a rooftop.
Maybe he's got some like Woody Allen shit, dude.
But like it's extra. She's the one who's like fucking like let's do this shit. It's really weird. It's really weird.
That's pretty
I mean,
Woody
like
Allen.
I would fuck Batman too, but like it's really weird. The movies have
Did
been.
they ever show Batman and Robin fucking?
No.
Why isn't that your first step? As soon as I'm
There's-
walking into DC, I'm
Too
like,
many Robins.
Look,
Too many Robins to choose from. Which one does he love the most?
that's true. That's a good point. I mean,
Also, like
I think-
the voice acting
I
stable.
think that
isn't
you
super
go with
strong,
the
I
one
don't
who's
think, right?
literally named Dick.
His
But
name
that's,
is Dick.
that's my,
Do you think like if we could go
Looks-
back in time, we could like convince Bill Finger and was it something Kane? I should know who created Robin. I think it's the same people that made Batman. Is it Tom Kane?
Bob Kane.
Bob Kane. Yeah, I think they also created Robin as well. I know they made Batman, but do you think we could like go back in time and be like just like you can name him Richard, but like call him Richie or Rich? But I don't really like those names either. Like Rich. I accept it. Like Nightwing is one of my favorite superheroes.
I think it's also of the time too. A lot more.
Well, yeah, it was a normal name back then. But if like you could go back in time and be like, listen, here's what's gonna happen if this is what you name this kid. Just letting you know. That's what's gonna happen. I wonder if they would change their mind.
Maybe.
I don't
I have
know.
no idea.
I don't know.
Anyway,
What else you
so
watch?
yeah, I saw Justice League Dark. I'm gonna go. All right. So what's the next worst one that I saw? Fuck, this is kind of tough, dude. I saw a lot of good movies. And I like all of these movies. So like I'm saying worst to first, but I like all of these movies. I liked all. I'll go with War Games. War Games. I saw War Games. I don't know if you ever heard of War Games. 1980s movie with Matthew Broderick and I don't know her name, but the girl who played the basket case in Breakfast Club. Dude, this is a fucking really fun movie.
Ali Sheedy.
Yeah, Ali Sheedy. She was fucking huge in that point of the 80s, and this was like kind of the start. Because this was before Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire.
It was an 80s movie about computers.
Oh yeah, dude.
Hell yeah,
it's
dude.
fucking fun.
Those can get wacky.
Yeah, it's fucking fun. Like, have you ever seen like Hackers or what's that movie where the kid who's like really good at like video games, and he like they're making a road trip, and he has to go to like a video game competition, and they play fucking Super Mario or something, like the new version of Super Mario that hasn't been released yet. And then like he goes into like some fucking gas station or something like that, and there's a kid in there, and he's like, the kid is like an asshole, and he's like got the power glove, and he's playing pole position. You don't remember this?
No.
Fuck, I forgot what the name of that movie. It's like kind of similar to that.
Okay.
But basically like the plot of the movie is Matthew Broderick is like this super hacker dude in high school.
Young Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, young Matthew Broderick. But he's fucking hacker in high school fucking like literally like is hacking into the mainframe of the high school in order to change his grades and shit like that, and he ends up having a romantic relationship with Ali Sheedy, who's actually like really charming in this movie. Like, I don't know
wow,
if
he
you've
made
ever
this
seen-
like this came out 3 years before Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, dude.
Okay,
But I don't know if you've ever seen Breakfast Club.
I have.
Okay, you have. So do you remember Basket Case, like the crazy girl? Like, she's like super fucking charming in this movie, which like I'm so used to seeing.
Maybe
her
she's
in
a really
Basket Case.
talented actress.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Yeah, but it's also just like super, super fun. Like there's like a certain epicness to the movie itself that like they can get across, even though it's kind of like reserved and sort of limited in a way. Like, yeah, it's just super fun. Like in a way, it's like kind of like Bourne-esque how he has like these like qualities about him that like he can get through specific situations, and you know that he's got a specific set of skills and shit.
Taken
like,
or Born?
I mean, it's just like super similar. Like there's no like violence. He doesn't fight anybody, but like he uses his fucking hacker abilities, and like you know that like even though he's super vulnerable. This is the plot of the movie, right? So Matthew Broderick fucking accidentally hacks into this like military database, right? And
although I don't know how you do that by accident.
Sets up. Well, so what he thinks that he's hacking into like a game database, and he sees like all these military games, and he starts playing this game called Global Thermonuclear War.
Does he launch nukes?
Right, and what ends up happening is he sets like what he's playing is like a simulation, and that simulation fucking goes to God damn it, I forgot but like it's like a huge fucking base in Washington.
Okay.
But yeah, they all think that it's real and that the fucking Russians are going to be attacking them and shit.
Okay.
But they end up fucking tracking down Matthew Broderick, fucking bringing him in, and then like it gets into like this weird like nuclear war situation with Russia.
It said something about starting World War III.
Yeah, basically, like, and that's kind of the stakes that are there. But it's a super fun
big
80s
stakes.
movie. Super fun 80s movie. But it's weird because like I don't want to spoil it.
Young Matthew Broderick, very
War Game's
charming.
good. That's on Netflix. I saw another movie called Scanners. I don't know if you've ever seen Scanners.
I've heard
before.
of Scanners.
Yeah, Scanners. Most well known for it has a head blowing up scene.
Ooh.
I don't know, like for anybody who has
You
ever
mean
seen
like
The
Toby's
Office,
head and
anybody who's ever seen The Office and ever seen the Threat Level Midnight episode,
One of the goat
fucking
level episodes.
the fucking head explosion, Toby's head explosion. It's
You went on-
basically fucking this scene in Scanners, and it has I can't even think of some of the main actors. The main guy isn't
Jennifer
a huge
O'Neill,
actor.
Stephen Lack, Patrick
Ironside?
Guin,
Michael Ironside.
Lawrence Dane,
Is that the guy's name?
Michael Ironside.
Yeah, is like probably the biggest name. actor.
Cronenberg movie.
Yeah, David Cronenberg. So this is I saw The Brood a while ago, a few weeks ago.
You're on an 80s run.
Oh yeah, dude. I watched a lot of old movies. But yeah, Scanners, really good. Cronenberg has like this weird, like Cronenberg. It's like he doesn't give a fuck really about like this is gonna sound bad, but like having the characters like really connect to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like he just does.
No,
these
some
very
filmmakers do
superficial-
that. Some do that. Yeah.
He's just very much like has these superficial like I'm gonna have these ideas. I'm gonna fucking pick these ideas in a really cool way, and that's what he does. And that's
I mean, the
kind of
synopsis is like
enjoyable part
a
of
scientist
Scanners.
sends a man with extraordinary psychic powers to hunt
It's
others like him.
But Cronenberg's movies don't like connect with me enough emotionally to really get me, to really like pull me in. So I like Scanners. Fucking, it's a classic. Probably.
Is it called Scanners
Cronenberg's.
because they scan brains?
So it's basically fucking. There's a race of people. It's like kind of like X-Men-esque, but instead of having a bunch of different powers, like there's
Like Looper? TKs?
Yeah, but even Looper has like multiple. Yeah, there's just
They're
TKs, right?
TKs, yeah.
Yeah, except that it has time travel and it has the superpowers, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but there's people who can read minds, and not only can they read minds, but they can like explode each other's heads if they wanted to, and that's kind of.
There's just like one
deal.
little hitch in the giddy up there.
Well, like I don't think that they can move shit with their minds, but they can like.
They're telepathic, not telekinetic.
Yes. Yeah, but it's not like just that they can read minds. It's like there's a little bit more.
I mean, can they coerce people?
Huh?
Can they coerce people? Can they change memories?
Okay, so they
can block minds?
They can make you like I can make you fucking like walk off the balcony.
Yeah, that's telepathy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's not just reading minds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was fun. Scanners. It's another movie that I saw. I watched As Good as It Gets. You ever seen As Good as It Gets? It's a Jack Nicholson movie.
I mean, you can just assume I haven't seen any of these movies you watched.
This movie's like it's
Greg Kinnear and Cuba Gooding Jr.
So Scanners was available on the Criterion Collection website. I don't know why I said that because probably the majority of people don't have that. But As Good as It Gets is also on Netflix. Fucking classic movie. I think it was nominated for a couple Oscars. Jack Nicholson's fucking incredible. In this movie, like
he won an Oscar for best actor.
Best actor.
I'm sorry, Helen Hunt won.
Helen Hunt won,
and Jack Nicholson won. They both did.
Nice.
Yeah. Also a nominee for Best Picture. Mm-hmm. Greg Kinnear got nominated, actor in a supporting role. So this got a lot of Oscar noms.
He was really solid.
Best writing, screenplay.
Mm-hmm. You've heard of the Save the Cat rule in screenwriting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for those that don't know what the Save the Cat rule is, it's basically like this arbitrary rule that they tell you in screenwriting that you should give your main character a save the cat moment where, you know, they're walking past a tree and, you know, they see a cat in danger. There's a kid asking for their cat and then they save the cat.
It's basically about doing a simple act of good to warm them to the audience.
Exactly. And showing them that they're a good person.
Yeah.
This movie does the exact opposite.
Does he kill a cat?
Dog. He literally throws a dog into a fucking a trash chute.
Jesus.
It's Greg Kinnear's dog. He throws. That's how you are introduced to Jack Nicholson's character.
Brutal.
But so he is like just an absolute asshole. And this movie was actually kind of weird to watch in 2019 because he's like very much racist, very much homophobic, and he's just mean. He's a mean old man.
I can't imagine Jack Nicholson playing a mean old man.
I know, right? Like how the fuck could he do that? But he also has like OCD, like chronic OCD. Like when he opens up his bathroom cabinet, like his little cabinet mirror, there's like just tons of fucking soaps, like bars of soap, and they show him washing his hands. And every time he washes his hands, he uses 2 bars of soap, throws the bars away, like uses 1 bar of soap, right? Soaps it up, throws it away, fucking rinses his hands off, and then fucking goes with another bar of soap. This movie does a really good job of just like being able to show an asshole and like having like giving him just enough to where like because he's fucking Jack Nicholson. Obviously like he's going to be entertaining and he's going to be fun to watch while he's on screen.
Charismatic dude.
But the way that the character is written, the way that they introduce him, just they slowly just feed you into this character, and he just gradually just becomes less of a dick.
Okay.
So it was solid movie. You can watch that on Netflix. Another one you could watch on Netflix. Actually, hold on. I'll leave that for the next one. I watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. That's available on Hulu. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Hulu.
It's a John Hughes film. You've seen. We brought up Ferris Bueller earlier.
Martin, baby.
You've seen Ferris Bueller.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen 16 Candles?
No. I don't think so.
Have you seen Uncle Buck? So these are all movies that are directed by John Hughes.
Yeah.
He was a huge in the 80s, and especially like the early 80s. Fucking he was killing it. He also made Weird Science. Was one I really like. A lot of people don't really like that one, but he also made Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and a lot of people think that this is his best movie. I would disagree. I think that this might be his funniest movie. John Hughes is...
So some people will confuse that for best.
Maybe.
Like how people will confuse something sad for being bad.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is like... It's like a Murphy's Law movie. You ever watch those comedy movies where like the main character, like everything that can go wrong
Goes wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very much what Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is. Steve Martin is trying to get from New York to Chicago, and along the way, you know, like he goes from plane to train to automobile, trying to get to Chicago in time for Thanksgiving dinner. And along the way, he fucking befriends
John Candy,
just the worst kind of person, but also has like a really sweet heart. It just like kind of consistently fucks up his life, but is John Candy. Hilarious fucking movie. I wouldn't say that it's. I think Breakfast Club.
I love Breakfast Club.
Like I think Breakfast Club is John Hughes. I think that's his magnum opus. Like to me, like if it encompasses all the things that I would want in a John Hughes movie.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, or
Breakfast Club.
Okay.
Breakfast Club. The fact that it's in high school, like it's emotional. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is that way as well, but like it's not set in high school. So like, and there's something just cool about that. I feel like John Hughes just fucking nails that.
Yeah.
Kind of environment. But yeah, really good movie. I recommend it. You can find that on Hulu, right? I said Hulu.
Yeah, because you said Hulu.
Hulu. I'll watch out. Even older movie, right? This is the second to last.
Second
movie.
best one?
This is the second best one that I watched.
Okay.
It's a movie called Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. This is an old ass movie, made in 58, I believe. 1958. It's an old classic fucking Hollywood
Elizabeth
studio
Taylor.
film.
Oh, you told me, and Paul Newman. Yeah, you told me about this.
Yeah, my girl Elizabeth Taylor.
Richard
Paul Newman.
Brooks, directed and written by.
Mm-hmm. I can't even really like say much about this movie. Like there's just specific moments. So this is based on a Tennessee Williams play. So that's like,
ooh, Tennessee Williams, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes.
Yep.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Fucking sweet playwright.
Yeah. So he's like one of the greatest playwrights of all time. Also,
lots of Tonys.
Nice. Okay. All right. Enjoying that bit.
Yeah.
He also wrote A Streetcar Named Desire, which I don't know if you've ever seen that.
This is evocative titles. Really good titles.
Streetcar Named Desire, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Yeah, good titles.
And I'm pretty sure they're both metaphorical. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof definitely is, because that's basically like the metaphor that the symbol that represents Elizabeth Taylor's character. But he does a fucking dope ass job of making like really fucking like intriguing characters, and specifically like leading men. Fucking Paul Newman's character, his name is Brick, and he's just like this like ex-football player, alcoholic that like is obviously like ashamed of something. He's like some ghost in his past. And I just like there's parts in this movie where I was just like I was watching myself like, and I was perfectly aware. I was like, oh, I'm completely fucking locked into this movie. It's just really solid. I don't want to give anything else away. You can find that on Netflix.
He raved about that one for a while after he watched it earlier this week.
But it was mostly about the ending, and I don't want to give the ending away.
Tension.
Yeah. The number one movie that I watched this week.
Okay.
I can't fucking recommend enough.
Okay.
You can also find this on Netflix.
Okay.
It's called My Life as a Zucchini.
My Life as a Zucchini.
My Life as a Zucchini, dude. Okay, so this is a Swedish and French film. So
I've seen
language,
this poster before.
Yeah.
I recognize this.
So this is a Swedish/French film. So the language is actually in French, but it is a. Is it a short? Look up how long it is. No, it's a feature because it's super short.
Hour 6.
Yeah, but it's really short. It's a feature, but it's really short because it was nominated for best animated feature for like the Oscars. That was the same year that Red Turtle came out, which I'm also really big on. I really liked that movie when it came out. My Life as a Zucchini. I sat down and watched it, and the Netflix like automatically gives you like the French audio, right? So I sat. Watched through it, and I knew like it was already on my list because of it being nominated for an Oscar. So I was intrigued, and I'm pretty sure that I had seen the trailer before as well that year that it came out, but it was hard for me to actually watch. Anyways, I sat down and watched it. dog, cried.
Mm-hmm. It's got like a Tim Burton looking animation style claymation.
It's not, like I wouldn't even give it a Tim like. I get what you're saying there, but like
I'm just saying from the poster, like what I'm looking at.
Like it's like if that's your only frame of reference as far as the animation style, like that's pretty close. It's like stop motion based. I'm not sure if it's actually stop motion or if they just like.
It definitely looks like claymation at least.
Well, usually claymation is stop motion, but what I'm saying is, but sometimes like things are given like a stop motion feel.
Okay, that's what
I'm saying. I'm not sure if they actually shot it that way. Anyway, so this fucking story, dude, it's all about this kid whose nickname is Zucchini. His real name's Ikar, Ikar, and he's okay. So I don't want to give anything away, but without spoiling it, he becomes an orphan and he has to go to this foster home for kids. It is. There's a lot of times I watch a movie and I'm like, I've seen this movie before, you know, but it's like you can't. But it's just, I can't pull out a movie that I've seen where like I've actually seen it, but it's just in my head already, you know, like it just has like elements of like I don't know, like Mike, you know what I mean, and fucking like you know like just like random shit.
Me like Zucchini.
But it is heart-wrenching. It is fucking beautiful. The animation is gorgeous. The writing's incredible. I watched it all the way through with the French audio, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Subtitles?
Yeah, so it's just subtitles, and it is dark, but really uplifting and sweet. But the coolest thing, right? After I watched it, I went on to IMDb
as well.
I went on to IMDb, and then I saw that there was all these English actors, English-speaking actors, that were slated as the characters as well. And I was like, holy shit, is there an English audio for this? And then I started going through the actors that have played these characters. Nick Offerman, fucking, can you bring it up?
I'm scrolling through it right now to get to the Will Forte. Nick Offerman, Ellen Page, Amy Sedaris.
Those are the biggest. Those are the three big ones right there, right? But I was like, holy shit. So I went back into Netflix and like there's a little fucking toggle where you can watch it with the English audio.
Oh, that's really cool.
So what I did, I turned on the English and English audio. I fucking watched it all the way back through again. And obviously like it's only what 68?
Hour 6, yeah.
Yeah. Hour and
was
6
there a version
really short.
Did you like one more than the other?
I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to sound super pretentious. I like the French audio more.
Well, I mean, one, you're going to be moved more the first time you've seen it. So I'm not surprised by that.
True.
Yeah.
But I did catch.
I was going to ask you, how much of the French did you pick up?
A little bit. Not
good for you. Good for you.
I'll just recognize specific words, but I can't fucking follow along like for shit. But I for sure. I don't think this will spoil anything. The French audio is much darker.
Interesting.
When they made it into the English audio, like I don't know what it was.
Did they change dialogue and stuff like that?
There's specifically one moment that is happening to a character where they changed the dialogue, and I caught it, and I went back to the French version to make sure, and I was like, oh, they literally changed that dialogue, but like I'm not sure if they did it intentionally or not to make it softer, or if it was just like they were kind of spitballing and then the actress ended up saying that.
Yeah, maybe they improv something different or something like that.
But what ended up on the screen, like the actual result was way less dark. It's basically no, I can't fucking spoil it.
Yeah.
I can't fucking recommend it enough, man. I loved it so much. Like The Red Turtle was my favorite animated movie that year. This fucking way surpasses it.
Oh wow, okay.
I would much rather watch this movie like 5 times before I see Red Turtle again.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. That's on Netflix. Those are all the fucking movies.
It's a lot of movies.
Yeah, I saw a lot. I was busy.
I watched 2 movies.
What'd you see? Oh, you saw.
I saw The Farewell. Yeah. Really good. Very emotional. Very sad.
It's got like 150% on Rotten Tomatoes. Right?
Awkwafina's really good. I've seen people that are like Awkwafina's going to get an Oscar nomination. I don't think she's like it's that. It's not that she's not really good. It's that like it's not a dynamic enough performance. I don't think to get an Oscar nomination. It's like she's just very sad. You know what I mean? She doesn't do a lot of stretching. Why are you making that face?
Have you ever seen Silver Linings Playbook?
Yeah.
Jackie Weaver got a nomination.
I
The
don't
mom,
know. Yeah.
she was in that movie for like 10 minutes.
You've been mad about that for years.
I'm not mad about that. It's fine. It was a fine performance, but I'm saying like there's a lot of like, oh, okay, I guess she gets a nomination. You know what I mean? And I think that
I'm not going to be mad if Awkwafina gets one. I actually think that'd be kind of cool if like Awkwafina got nominated for an Oscar. That'd be crazy.
Right.
It's funny. Like I went on Reddit.
Sleeper for like an EGOT.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I went on like Reddit and I was looking at some comments and just fucking meatheads being like, "Who the fuck has a name like Awkwafina?" And it's like people being like, "It was her rapper name," and then being like, "That's a dumb rapper name. It was ironic. It was making fun of other rap," and it was like just this fucking repeated just trail of stupidity. And I was just like, "Hey, she's just really fucking good. The grandma is super lovable. The two dads are really good. Oh, what's the one guy's name? You'd recognize him. Hold on. What's his name? Sima. I think again, probably fucking. You recognize this guy?
Yeah, he's in Mulan, right?
Yes. Oh, he's gonna be in the new Mulan. You're talking about?
Yeah,
he's Consul Han in Rush Hour.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really fucking good. Oh,
the last time that we brought him up
too.
on this podcast,
we were talking about Mulan, and we talked about Rush Hour. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's really good. The guy that plays his brother is really good. It's really interesting seeing, like, I really like movies, like kind of like I was talking about cooking shows last week. I like movies that like open windows into different cultures and then the way they think about things and like the whole crux of this movie, which is based on a true story. It opens, it says this movie is based on a true lie because of the lie they tell the grandma. It's like the basis of the movie. Well,
it's like that quote from Roger Ebert where he's talking about movies. He was giving some speech, I think, and he labeled movies empathy machines. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they're just like solid. People that watch a lot of movies are usually people that can empathize really well.
Yeah,
weirdly enough. But yeah, I like movies like that as well.
But yeah, I really like that win, and like just the idea, like there's a whole, I think there's like a line from it's in the trailer where they talk about like Awkwafina's struggling with the idea of not telling her grandma she has cancer, and her uncle, Seema's brother, is like trying to explain to her the difference between Western and Eastern culture, and she was raised in America, so she doesn't understand the Chinese way of doing it. It's just really interesting. I would say like at least 80% of this movie's in Chinese. It's like almost all subtitles, and you know, it didn't bother me at all. You can still really pick up on the chemistry and the humor and stuff like that. I really liked it a lot.
Is there a scene where Awkwafina and her grandma rap?
No. There is a scene though.
I ain't watching it.
There is a scene where they go, ha, 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 and it's really good. It's a really good scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The other movie I watched, which I'd seen in high school, but I hadn't watched since high school, and is such a fucking good movie that I just had to bring it up. The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride is so fucking good. It's like
it's classic.
It's insane how good it is.
Yeah.
I was watching that movie and I just like, I couldn't believe, like, I was like remembering it. I feel like when I watched The Princess Bride in high school, it was like there's a lot of people there, and it was like, come over, we're watching a movie. You know how and then you can never really pay attention to the movie. Mm-hmm. So like I like knew what happened in the Prince. Like I knew the man in black was Wesley. Spoilers.
Jesus, dude.
Roasted. So like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff didn't really get me. But like, there's so much stuff that I didn't remember. Like Inigo Montoya is so good. Mm-hmm. Fucking Andre the Giant is so good in this movie. He's so good. It's just young Robin Wright killing it. Fucking killing the game. The bad guys, they're so good. Mm-hmm. Dude, Billy fucking Crystal. Mm-hmm. I heard him and I was like, I know who that is. And then I went on IMDb and I was like, holy shit, that's Billy Crystal with layers of prosthetics on doing this weird character. It's so funny and so much fun. It's just great. It's just it's like a classic tale. And I was thinking about it, and like the movie started, and fucking Grandpa walked in, and young baby Fred Savage is like telling me a story or whatever. And I was like, when they inevitably remake this movie, is this going to be some kid wearing like an Overwatch League jersey playing Fortnite? Like his fucking grandpa comes in to like read him a book on an iPad.
Either way, I want fucking Jacob Tremblay to play the kid.
Obviously.
And the grandpa.
Yeah, he could do it. He's fucking Tremblay Nation, baby. He's got the stretch, dude. He can do it. Honestly, like, that role's beneath him, though, if I'm being honest. Like, the kid role in that movie is beneath Jacob Tremblay.
Yeah?
He's not in it that much. He just fucking, like, interrupts sometimes to be like, I don't like kissing.
I mean, Fred Savage was pretty big at that time, right? Was that before Wonder Years?
I have no idea.
During?
Wonder Years. I don't know what that is. This TV show?
Yeah.
88 to 93. Princess Bride. 87. So
so
right in the middle
before.
of it.
You
Or
said
right
88
before
to-
it. Yeah,
right
sorry.
before.
Yeah. If you haven't seen The Princess Bride, just fucking see it. I rented it on Amazon because I was like scrolling around and I saw it and I was like, you know, sometimes you see a movie and you're like, that's what I want to watch right now. You get that feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to me. And I was like, that's it. I want to watch that. And I did, and it was a great decision. Ooh. You want to talk about these 3 upcoming movies?
Yeah.
We are in the time
All
of the
three.
year.
These are all 3 good trailers.
We are in the time of year where trailers for things that are probably going to get Oscar nominations are coming out. And all 3 of these are going to be in the running for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why were you freaking out when you watched the trailer for
Do you want to start with that?
Lighthouse? Yes.
Okay. All right.
You watched the Lighthouse trailer, so it's kind of weird. So, like, I told you to watch the Lighthouse trailer like 6 days ago.
Yeah.
And you obviously didn't. And then you watched it right before we started recording. You started freaking out because it was similar to something you watched today.
Okay, so
I'm guessing it's one of the things you talked about?
This is the weird thing. No, not one of the things that I talked about. Okay. There is on the Criterion Collection site, the streaming service that I watch or that I subscribe to or whatever. One of the oldest films that's on there is this 1917 Swedish film, or it might be, I think it's Swedish, but it's set in Norway. Scandinavian film, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's set in like 1800, but I watched this. I mean, it's basically like an hour long. I remember watching this film and being like completely blown away.
Mm-hmm.
It's a silent film, obviously. It's made in 1917. It's by far like my favorite silent film that I've ever seen. The score is incredible. It's like haunting, and the entire story is about this dude that basically lives in like a fishing village, and there's like this English blockade, so that like they can't get any more food, so people start starving, and he has a family. He has like a newborn baby and his wife, and it's really sweet the way that they start this movie, and like the score isn't something that like feels like very of the time. I'm not sure when they like added this score in. I'm not sure if it was of that time or if it was later on, but it feels like a modern score.
Mm-hmm.
And it's half of the movie to me. It's the music, but that as well as the environment that of this fishing village, and it's very much near the ocean, and there's lots of rocks, and it's just it feels like you just fucking like pulled this out of a fucking like a fishing net, you know what I mean? Like it's just very like wet, and like the entire experience is like very visceral when I was watching it, and it's haunting and sweet and fucking heartbreaking, and I remember being completely blown away by it, and it inspired for me to write a short. And I've been like off and on working on the short. You know how like you come up with an idea for a short, it goes into the back of your mind, and fucking like you occasionally think about it, and you think about like the things that you want to do with it. And since I've I watched the fucking Neil Gaiman's masterclass. That inspired me to go back into this specific short, and that's what I've been working on for the past 2 days. This is a short story, and it's set in Norway, like around the 1800s, and it's different from this short that I watched is called A Man There Was, and I rewatched it. This is the second time that I've watched A Man There Was, and I just watched it literally like right before we started this.
And then
podcast.
you watched the Lighthouse trailer.
Like you came in and you're like, "Yo, are you ready to record?" And I was like, "Just give me 7 minutes," because that was all I had left to watch in this movie, right? I watched the last 7 minutes, and then I immediately go into watching the Lighthouse trailer. And dog, the fucking aspect ratio is
okay. So that's
insane.
what I was gonna. So
it's all black and white.
Anyone who hasn't seen it, The Lighthouse is a movie coming out made by Robert Eggers, who made The Witch, starring Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. They're 2 of 3 cast members in the whole movie. There's someone named Valeria Karaman, and she's credited as mermaid and has no picture on IMDb.
Right.
It's like a fucking, what's the word? One place thing.
Restricted narrative?
Sure. I don't know if that's what I'm looking for or not. It looks like everything takes place in this lighthouse between these 2 dudes. It's all black and white. They went through huge steps to make this look like a movie from like the 1930s or some shit. The movie has an aspect ratio of 1:19:1, filmed on 35 millimeter black and white XX film stock. Used a camera with a lens designed to look like the 1930s.
Yeah.
Enhanced the image, making it resemble early photography with a custom cyan filter made to make this look like an old movie. Like, they took so many steps to make this look like the era it takes place in and to look like an old movie. And it looks fucking, like, spooky. There's spooky shit going on.
Did you say this is from the director of The Witch?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it looks like Willem and Pattinson are going to kill it.
And, yeah.
Kill it.
Trailer looks fucking
Why
incredible.
just spill your beans?
Obviously, I freaked out.
Yeah.
when watching that, just because of the coincidence of it. It's just very much like I feel like I'm watching a sequel. When I saw the trailer, I was like, oh shit! Like, this is. I wouldn't be surprised if the dude that made The Witch, right? Like, he had seen A Man There Was in the making of this movie, but The Witch is a movie that I started watching like I think I started watching a couple years ago, and then I stopped like 15 minutes in, and then I revisited it, and I remember being like, oh man, that 15 minutes was fucking incredible, like the beginning of that movie, and it was something that like when I saw the trailers, I was like, this is a trailer that I'm interested in, because I always get really hype for like really artistic auteur horror movies.
Stuff, yeah.
And that was very much this, like, or the Witch was very much like that. And then I ended up watching the entire movie, and like it kind of underdelivered after maybe like the first half of the movie. I know that there's a lot of people that really like it. It's much more. I would compare a lot of his stuff to like Ari Aster stuff. The very auteur-ish fucking horror movies. Like, they're very visually gifted, and they can just portray things in a like really interesting way. But The Witch kind of like just like it just didn't reach the hype level, whereas like Ari Aster stuff kind of always does hit for me.
2 for 2.
2 for 2, yeah. And The Witch isn't bad. Like, I would recommend it. It's a little bit more boring. Like, it's like pretentious is probably too strong of a word. But like it seems a little bit more pretentious than Ari Aster stuff. But I'm very intrigued by
Lighthouse. Looks like it'd be fucking good.
It looks really interesting. I'm just hoping that I don't get sort of the same thing. The visuals look fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it looks really interesting. Obviously, Pattinson should have won an Oscar.
Robert Pattinson
should have won an Oscar. He might do it for this one.
No, he'll win it for Batman. That'd be weird. If he did like a bunch of like weird indie stuff and then did this movie and then won an Oscar for Batman, that'd be so weird. All right, how about the return of Joe Pesci?
Okay. All right.
The Irishman.
There's a couple of ways that you could sell this movie: the return of Joe Pesci and the first Scorsese directed Al Pacino film.
Yep. So yeah, this is Martin Scorsese's newest movie. It's going to go be a Netflix movie.
Yeah, that's probably the craziest thing.
Starring
did that
Robert De
surprise you?
Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci. There's a lot of other people. Jesse Plemons, Anna Paquin, Rogue, Paquin.
I think it's Paquin.
Something like that. Harvey Keitel's in it. Bobby Cannavale. Ray Romano. There's a bunch of people in this movie. But it's Scorsese returning to the New York gangster thing. Mm-hmm. Are you? If I was surprised, I knew it was going to be on Netflix. It was announced a long time ago. Yeah.
So when that Netflix thing popped out, I was like, "Ooh!"
It's getting a limited theatrical release to be Oscar, whatever.
Worthy,
to be allowed to be nominated for an Oscar or whatever, because it has stupid rules. But you're going to be able to talk about Scorsese stuff better than me. I haven't seen a ton of Scorsese movies,
right.
Especially not the New York gangster one specifically. Really. How hyped up did this trailer make you? Did you get really excited?
Very fucking hyped.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so... And
I saw the trailer and I was like, that looks good. I'm going to see that. But I wasn't freaking out.
But you weren't really hype about it.
Yeah.
I was... I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking myself into it too much.
A lot of people are hype.
Yeah.
I'm the minority, I think, and it's because I don't have the context.
Right.
I think.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that it's like you know it, but it's surprising when you hear that Al Pacino has never been in a Scorsese movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And Pacino is someone who has kind of lost it over the years. Yeah. I mean, early Pacino is my favorite Pacino. Mm-hmm. And he was someone who's, when he was in his younger years, he was probably the greatest actor that's ever lived.
He was a beast.
Ever in the history of cinema, and has since done a lot of kind of questionable things, and has phoned it in a couple times. But him in a Scorsese movie, is really fucking.
It just seems like it should be.
And obviously, fucking De Niro, fucking him and Scorsese, like butter and jelly, peanut butter and jelly. Butter and jelly is probably not as unless
good.
It's on a biscuit. I guess that's okay.
What are your thoughts on the de-aging stuff?
Are they using a lot of CGI and stuff?
I mean, that technology is so good now, but
this is one of those things. I feel like a lot of people are like Scorsese is very much, he likes that shit. He's kind of weird with he's surprisingly enough, because a lot of auteurs.
You think he was everything's practical and. Yeah.
Well, yeah. You would assume that because a lot of filmmakers, or especially auteurs like Scorsese that have been around the game for such a long time, are very much like Quentin Tarantino. No, everything's going to be practical. I'm not going to shoot on video. I'm going to shoot on film. But Scorsese is nah. If I could have made Taxi Driver in 3D, I would have done it. He's said that before.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So yeah, he's much more adapted.
He likes that technology, baby.
Yeah, he's interested in it, and there's a lot of stuff even in Wolf of Wall Street. He just uses a lot of CGI, and he's it's kind of super similar to how David Fincher utilizes CGI, where it's not in your face. Obviously, they don't do a lot of. It's not integrated into the action as much as it is coloring up the environment, and to get specific shots, to get specific angles. But yeah, dude, I don't. It's fucking Scorsese.
Dude, Scorsese's directed.
Let him do it.
59 movies or projects.
Yeah, he's done a lot of music.
7 upcoming projects.
He's done a lot of music video and
dude,
fucking stuff.
Works.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Marty out here killing it.
Yeah.
How about Sam Mendes' new film, 19? That's who I was thinking about when I said James Bond.
Sam Mendes.
Sam Mendes.
Yes.
Sam Mendes' new movie, 1917, a World War I film, rumored. I don't know if this is real. I saw it in the IMDb trivia. It's going to apparently be like one long take. Is what it's going to be made to look like. Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy. That's ambitious.
So I found a couple things appealing. The trailer
looks beautiful, dude.
Really fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the guy that's shooting it?
Cinematographer
Roger Deakins. The
I
same
know
guy,
him.
dude. He's one of the greatest cinematographers of all time. Finally, he's been nominated 15 times. Did you have that on?
Oscar winner.
He won for Blade Runner
2049.
2049. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been nominated a fucking bunch. Jesus.
Nominated shit.
So many. I can't even count these. There's so many.
Dog. He's been around the game for a long time, and he finally actually won one for Blade Runner 2049. Incredible cinematographer. Sam Mendes, also the guy who he's made some good movies.
He made Skyfall, Road to Perdition,
and American Beauty, which
Revolutionary Road.
So this is Sam Mendes and Roger Deakins, who are both fucking really good filmmakers. Fucking that have gotten.
Made Spectre and Skyfall.
That have won Oscars in their respective fields.
American Beauty was his first directing credit.
Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then fucking...
The cast on this movie is
Oscar
fucking dope.
For 1917.
The trailer doesn't... Like, half the people aren't in the trailer.
World War I, right?
Yes. So, like, that's another thing. Like, I was watching this trailer and I was like, I recognize, like, a bunch... Like, because I listened to Blueprint for Armageddon, the podcast, Dan Carlin's podcast.
Oh, okay.
I listened to the 6-part World War I episodes.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, fuck yeah, I like recognize, I actually like know what this stuff is.
Yeah.
I've actually learned something. So I was like, that was really cool. But like all we see in the trailer is Colin Firth, Benedict Cumberbatch, fucking Tommen Baratheon. His name is actually Dean Charles Chapman. And I think this guy, George McKay, is the other kid. But like Richard Madden is in this movie. And Mark Strong is in this movie. And I don't know if you know who Andrew Scott is. He played Moriarty in the BBC. Wait, am I wrong? I don't see. Did I think he was somebody different? Sherlock? Okay, yeah, that's him. Okay, I was freaking out. He played Moriarty in BBC Sherlock, and he's like fucking psycho. There's like his name is Andrew Scott. So he's another one. I don't think he was in the trailer.
What character did Mark Strong play in Sherlock?
Sherlock the show?
The movie.
With Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah.
He might have been Moriarty. I don't know.
I don't know. That was just weird.
I don't know. I was actually thinking about watching that the other day.
I forgot which one it was that he was in.
I'm trying to look.
I want to say he was Moriarty, but I don't know.
I'm trying to look. How long ago was that movie? Jesus. Sherlock Holmes. Lord Henry Blackwood. Yeah. Probably a bad guy. Mark Strong plays a lot of bad guys. Except in Kingsman. I like him in Kingsman. Anyway, so like I saw that, I was like, yo, Richard fucking Madsen. Get that fucking boy working. Yeah. The young wolf, baby.
Yeah. I'm in. For sure. 1917.
Yeah. It looks really fucking good. I think this, like, I was really excited when I watched that trailer. I was like, yo. I kind of got Dunkirk vibes from it a little bit. Mm-hmm. Christopher Nolan's movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like the cinematography looks great. Plus, like, I just felt like I knew a little bit. I was like, having that context, like the historical context, made me more excited for it, rather than just being like, it's a war movie. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because they can be kind of drab.
Yeah, they can. Sure. But they can also be really fucking great. Like, there's some great war movies.
But even like the great ones, like Dunkirk's an amazing movie.
I love Dunkirk.
I don't really want to watch Dunkirk again.
Really? I would watch Dunkirk again.
It's like it's not as bad as like Lincoln. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot more.
Lincoln's rough. Yeah. Lincoln was like, you watch Lincoln, you're action. Like, wow, that was great. I don't want to do that again.
and there's some tense shit.
Yeah. Daniel Day-Lewis is incredible.
Well, in Dunkirk, there's some tense scenes.
Yeah. See, that's what I would revisit Dunkirk because there's like some stuff where you're like, Jesus.
I wouldn't be excited to.
I didn't say I'd be excited. I said I would. It's definitely not like if I was like, hey, some dude walked up to me with like a jacket and he's like, I got all the Christopher Nolan movies you want for $1 for one of them. And I'd be like, I'm not going to pick that one. You know what I mean?
That's something that would happen in Hollywood.
Yeah, probably. But then they would be bootleg. It'd be somebody named Christopher with like an F instead of a PH, and they'd be like completely different movies, or they'd be porn parodies or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, Hollywood's fucking nuts. I got my fries stolen today, dog.
Your fries stolen?
So this is what happened. So I went to Wendy's. Right?
Uh-huh.
I got myself a fucking triple Baconator large combo, right?
They have triple
Also-
Baconators?
Huh? Yeah, they got. They asked you, do you want a double or triple? And I was like, I don't want a triple.
What?
Give me a motherfucking triple, right?
Wait, is that like the base? I don't know. Okay, anyway, keep going.
Right. So ate up my Baconator, right? So, and I also got.
Were you
Frosty.
sitting inside?
Huh? I was sitting outside. I was sitting inside.
Yeah.
I was sitting inside. But I fucking. Yeah, I was eating in there. I ate up my Baconator. I also had a cookie, right? And a big old, or not a big old fry. I got a small Frosty, right? So I ate my Baconator.
Did you dip that cookie in the Frosty?
No, I didn't. No, the cookie's in the fridge.
Oh, jeez.
So, I fucking ate up my Baconator, then ate the Frosty. Had some of the fries.
You're such a weirdo. You eat so weird.
This is what I did. Normally, like if I'm driving, I eat the fries first.
You always eat fries in the car, yeah. Chris is the type of person who eats one food at a time. He finishes the whole food and then moves on to the next food.
I did dip the fries in the Frosty, though.
Of course.
I don't know why that's just a Wendy's thing.
That is kind of weird, right? Like,
Yeah.
would you go to McDonald's and get like a McFlurry
And then dip
fries in it? No, that'd be
I'm pretty
weird.
sure it's probably like just as delicious. Though.
Probably. We should try it.
Maybe.
That would be really good.
Especially like after you get past that part of the McFlurry where there's no more toppings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just the ice cream.
Yep.
Um,
Anyway, did you like get up to go
this is
to
what
the
happened.
bathroom or something?
So I was getting kind of full, right?
Okay.
I was like, I'm getting full of my tum tum. So I was like, I'm gonna go get fucking like a to go bag, right? So that I could fucking throw my fries and my cookie in the to go bag.
Fries and cookie.
I went up to because there was like a big line, but I didn't wait in the line. I just went up next to the line, and they were super busy. So I just kind of waited there for a bit. I remember turning around, and near where my table was, there was a dude that was just sitting there. And I was like, why? At first I was like, oh, that dude's really close to my food, because it was like table, and then he was on the next table. And like he didn't have his food yet. He was just kind of like sitting on top of the table next.
So
to
you're
me.
like, is this guy like waiting for his food?
And I was like, at first I was like, get kind of paranoid, you know. Like I had that thing. Like I've always had.
Should have trusted your instincts, dude.
Well, here's the thing. I always had that thing, you know, like when I like leave my cart at the grocery store.
You're a freak about that shit. That freaks me out.
Well,
I can't go
like,
shopping with you.
Well, because I'm like, what is somebody just gonna fucking take my fucking? And that's a different situation, obviously. But I remember thinking, like, for a split second, I was like, that dude better not touch my food. And then I was like, don't be fucking paranoid. He's not gonna fucking touch your food.
Paranoid.
So I ended up getting the to-go bag. I turn around, the dude's not there anymore. As I'm walking up to the table, fucking fries not there. I was like, motherfucker.
But he left your cookie.
He left my cookie there.
Huh.
Maybe he doesn't like sugar cookies. I don't know. But I'm distraught.
What percentage of your fries were left?
To be fair, if you took the cookie, I would have been more mad.
Obviously.
I would have been more mad because like that I could just throw that in the fridge and it's still gonna be good. Whereas like the fries,
well, yeah, because like, what are
I'm
you
not
gonna do with those? Were you just gonna eat them while you walked home?
Yeah, probably.
Otherwise, they're not gonna be that good.
Probably.
That guy, he probably needed those fries more than you, dude. It's fine.
He obviously fucking needed them more than me.
It's kind of uncool though, stealing fries. Like, dang.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's disrespectful. And it's like one of those things that like,
hey man, the closer you get to Hollywood Boulevard, the bigger chance your fries are gonna get stolen.
That's true. That's true. I want to go back to that Wendy's and just start like leaving
food and being like, I got you.
And then just like watch on the other side of the Wendy's and see if fucking. And then
if you saw him like snag your fries, what would you have done?
I'm like, yo,
yeah,
what are you doing?
You would have confronted him.
Yeah, I would have been like, oh, get your hands off my food. Are you serious?
What if he licked them? Though?
I would have said that. If he ran out of the store, I'd be like, I would look back at everyone there and I'd be like, did you just fucking see that? And then I would have just taken my to-go
You wouldn't
bag.
chase him.
No.
That'd be crazy.
That's too much.
That's too much.
That's too much.
But if you like caught him in the act, you'd be like, hey man.
Like, I don't know what the threshold would have to be as far as like him stealing my shit where I would have to chase him. It would have to
like
be
if it was the whole meal. Would you chase
If it's the whole meal, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like, if I hadn't eaten my Baconator yet.
Yeah,
I'm
like if you
fucking
sat
chasing
down
him
and you
down.
were like, oh man, I forgot like a fork or I
Yeah.
wanted some ketchup.
No,
you
I'm
got to
chasing
go
him
get
down.
it. Yeah.
I'm chasing it.
I'm so non-confrontational that I probably wouldn't.
You probably would. I
probably
don't know, man.
I'd probably just fucking buy another Baconator. I'm so non-confrontational.
No, I would have to. Unless like
Just for the principle.
Unless like right off the bat, the Wendy's people were like, no, don't worry about it. Like we'll make you another meal. If they did that,
that'd
then,
be cool.
Then I'm not chasing.
That'd be really cool.
But yeah, dick move
That is a dick move.
by the fucking Hollywood street rats.
So I was bummed about Robbie not winning yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We were so dedicated to that UFC card that we watched one whole fight. Wait, did we watch more than that?
We watched 2 fights.
Did we watch 2?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because the co-main was Jim Miller and Clay Guida.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a 2008 fight.
Yeah, and that was fun for like the 45 seconds that it
It
had.
didn't last very long.
No.
Clay landed a big left. Jim landed a big left. Then
Yeah.
he fucking choked him
It
out.
was really fun.
Yeah, it was dope.
Yeah. Did you say Damian Maya?
No?
Clay Guida.
Clay Guida, Jim Miller.
Yeah.
I hope
maybe,
that's what I said.
Maybe you said
Clay Guida.
Clay Guida, and my brain went Damian Maya. I don't
Maybe.
know what that was.
Damian Maya on the brain.
No.
Can't blame you. Guy's great at jiu-jitsu.
Yes, he is solid. But the fight that we're really talking about here is fucking Colby Covington
Where's Robbie Lawler?
versus Robbie Lawler.
Colby Covington's really fucking good, man.
And I think us, like a majority of the entire world,
Like all of New Jersey who were booing him throughout the entire fight.
nobody likes Colby
People
Covington.
don't like him. Except the president. He loves him. Tweeted at him.
Does he really like
his
him?
kids were there.
He only likes him because
He
he's a
likes
Trumpo.
him, yeah.
Because he's a Trumpo.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
Trump.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Trump's probably never watched him fight.
Trump
Not
likes
surprised.
himself and only himself.
Like Voldemort. I've got a lot of... I just finished today
Right. So you're
The-
drawing a lot of
the
parallels.
last book episode of Binge Mode Harry Potter. So like I've been like the emotions have been because it's fucking like so fucking good.
Mhm.
Fucking love Harry Potter. I love that podcast. They're just so good. So like I've got it like they've just been talking about Voldemort and his hubris and like his fucking flaws all day. So they're like running through my brain. So yeah.
Yeah, but do you at least like respect Voldemort?
No. He's an asshole.
Yeah, obviously he's an asshole, but like he has like respectable qualities. He's fucking powerful and he's smart and he's fucking like, he's. I don't
Listen, man. Anything that Voldemort deems as weak, he just ignores.
know. Obviously he's fucking.
And that's
awful.
his downfall.
He's an awful person.
That's his downfall.
He's an awful person, but like he has.
No, obviously, like he's good at stuff. He's good at magic. He's good at talking to snakes.
Who'd you rather? I mean, fuck. I can't even ask you this because you don't like beer. I was gonna ask you like who would you have a Shirley Temple with?
You can
Voldemort?
ask who would you rather have a beer with, and I would understand the context of the question.
Well, this is how you would. Have
I
been
would
like,
say
well,
something
first
like,
off,
first
I don't
off-
like beer. That's what you would have said. So, who would you rather have a
Who
Shirley
would I rather have a
Temple
root beer with? Who are my options? Voldemort.
with? Trump or Voldemort?
Voldemort for sure. He could tell me so much shit, and then he would murder me. But like, I would learn so much about the
Yeah?
magical world and stuff. If I could meet a
feel like-
real wizard,
Sure,
that'd be awesome.
sure, but like Trump's probably gonna make you laugh at least once, right?
Oh, that's true.
If you were just having a
Voldemort probably
conversation
won't make
with
me
him,
laugh.
if you're just having a conversation, like he's funny, like
Mm-hmm.
whether it's unintentional or not.
Yeah. No, I'd still pick Voldemort. It's too interesting. It's too interesting to pass up a chance to like. I'd be concerned. I'd be concerned because I'd be like, why is Voldemort meeting a Muggle for a beer? He's gonna murder me. Does he need new Horcrux fodder or something? Like, I'd be scared about that.
Right.
Yeah. But what if he like sat down and he was like, listen, I was in this final confrontation with this punk ass kid. His name's Harry. He's a dick. And he told me to try for some remorse. And I really took it to heart. And I've been thinking about like my life and my past and my history. And, my dad was a Muggle. And I just feel like maybe if I can connect with that by just talking to you, maybe I can find it in me
Right.
for some remorse, and I'd be like, "Oh shit! All right, man, let's chop this out." Voldemort.
If you don't know that's a ploy, like right off the bat, dog. If I'm near that bar, like if I didn't know you and I heard that shit, I would come up to you and be like that is 100% a honey dick, 100%. Ain't no chance that's not a honey dick. Anyways, Colby Covington, Robbie Lawler, right?
Voldemort would be both of them in a fight.
It's actually like not a bad fight. Colby Covington, for all of his flaws as a human being, is a fucking.
Did you hear
great
his
fighter.
post? That shit he said post fight about
Kamaru Usman?
No. He said, keep talking. I'll find it. It's gonna bother me.
But yeah, for all his flaws, he's an incredible fucking fighter,
Yeah, he's
man.
really
And
good,
he's
dude.
like someone who's like his striking is fucking really like taken a step up. Like he was
It's
someone
weird
like, I thought-
striking too. Like, so much of it seems so inconsequential, but
Right.
he's just continually doing it.
high volume, not a lot of impact, not a lot of power.
Matt
But
Hughes.
man, Matt Hughes. He was talking shit about Matt Hughes.
Well, he said, "Let's talk about the lesson we learned here tonight. It's a lesson Matt Hughes learned. You stay off the track when the train is coming through." And he had that like bad accident.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he said some fucking crazy shit. He's a fucking crazy dude. He intentionally pushes buttons. Like he's just that kind of person. And like we've talked about it
him,
before, there's an art to trash talk, and there's a line to trash talk.
Yeah.
And like Chael Sonnen has crossed that line, like in the
Yeah.
build up to the Anderson Silva fight. And like some people
That
like
accident really fucked Matt Hughes up, man.
Yeah.
Like he was paralyzed, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm down with
And
that
like
trash
you
talking
could
shit,
tell that was like he prepared that statement. Like he just like
Yeah.
grabbed the mic and yelled that shit. Like he planned on saying that.
Yeah. It's one of those things like it's so fucked up that you're just like, oh, this is what you're doing.
Yeah,
Like, this
you're a caricature. Yeah.
like you don't even actually think these things. You're like you're just doing it to be this character.
Yeah.
And
He also spoils movies on Twitter. Come on, man. What are you doing? It's a much less bad thing to
How
do.
you solve that? Don't follow him on Twitter.
Obviously, I don't follow him on Twitter, but
yeah.
that's a good point.
Did you watch the shouting match between him and Kamaru Usman when he?
No,
got to,
I
like,
saw
the
it
little
happen,
box?
but I didn't watch it.
Did
Did they like do an interview together or something?
It gets to like a certain point. Like I understand that like it's UFC and like
Yeah.
building up bad blood is like
it's part of selling fights.
Yeah, it's part of selling fights. But it gets to a point where it's just like, okay, like if I'm just gonna watch two dudes fucking like shout at each other, like it's not appealing to me.
No.
Especially now if it's not clever, you know.
Yeah.
And the entire time, like Colby Covington would like had the interim belt on his shoulder, and it was like saying that like all the normal shit that Kamaru Usman was ducking him, that like you know they could fight anywhere, anytime.
Of course.
Fucking, and Kamaru Usman
fight
was,
you
like,
right now.
taking off his jacket, and he was like, "We could fight right now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever heard Kamaru Usman talk.
But okay, he talks like a normal dude, like an American.
He doesn't have an accent. Isn't
No.
he?
So he's a Nigerian immigrant, but he was brought here when he was 8.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So yeah,
I knew he was from Nigeria.
But fucking yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Kamaru Usman fight. But I was just like one time, like so he Colby Covington brought up how like he was saying to Kamaru Usman, he was saying like, who are you? Like nobody cares about you. Like, did you get a call from the president today?
Jesus.
And like you can see like Kamaru Usman smile and shit. Like, but like they were going back and forth, and I was just like one time like wanted to be like, bro, you a false champion. Just like we have a false president. Like just one time I wanted him to say that. It'd have been fun, but I'm excited for that fight.
Could you imagine if the pillars of the debate of that fight become like political? That'd be so weird. If a fucking UFC fight felt like the pillars of democracy fighting each other, that'd be so weird. That would freak me out.
Well, this isn't like new ground. You know what I mean? Like this is like in my fucking like multicultural history class that I took this year. Like she brought up a boxing match that I think it was Joe Louis had between a white dude and like how fucked up some of the things that they were saying.
I think Muhammad Ali got a lot of that too.
Yeah. I mean, any fucking African American athlete has gotten it.
Yeah.
Over the course of it, like even now, fucking
it's crazy.
It happens, but
Russell Westbrook got it like 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but for the most part, like it's not new precedent that like these, and we talk about this with sports movies as well, like how like that can kind of, the sport itself can sort of represent like a more complex and symbolic struggle.
Yeah. And the like winning in the sport can feel like winning in the struggle.
Yeah. And and I said this to you like in the fifth round when it looked like Colby Covington was sort of like wrapping things up with Robbie Lawler. I was like, how poetic would it be for Colby Covington to get his ass kicked by a Nigerian immigrant, you know? It's fun.
But how poetic is it that Colby Covington beats Robbie Lawler on the day there's fucking 2 mass shootings in America?
It's rough.
It's rough. It's rough. So yeah, that bummed me out though. I was like, I just want to see somebody fucking punch him really hard once. That's all.
Dog, there's been 3 mass shootings in the past week.
In the last 2 days.
Yeah, well, there's been 2 in the past 24 hours.
Yeah.
Right? But there's been 3 in the past week.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a fucking...
There's been like over 200 this year or something. It's insane.
We're not well equipped.
We're not equipped to have that conversation.
I think it's bigger than a gun problem.
Sure.
I would say that. I think it's bigger than that. I think it's fucking psychological.
You're going to be like one of those senators or whatever, that dude that hopped on the news and was like, these kids playing these video games.
Oh, yeah, that's
now,
what it is.
These kids got problems with these video games. Listen, I like video games. I like Pokemon a lot. I played Pokemon my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I've never abused an animal.
No. No.
Also, the Pokemon like it. It makes them stronger, and that's like their goal is to get stronger. They like fighting.
The Pokemon like it?
Yes.
That's what rapists say. Huh? Way to justify that.
Stop. You stop that right now.
The Pokemon were asking for it? Is that what it is?
That's fucked up, dog. Stop that. You got anything else you want to talk about, or you want to do shout-outs? It's fucking hot in here.
It is hot, but I still want to talk.
Okay.
Let's talk about this fucking masterclass that I watched, dude.
You said it was what's his face's comic guy.
Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman. He's the
question about masterclass, because I know you've watched the Screenwriter, Social Network,
Mark Zuckerberg,
My Brain Isn't Working,
Jesse Eisenberg, Andrew Garfield.
The more you do this bit, the longer it's going to take to talk about
Eduardo
this thing.
Saverin.
That's just the character that he plays. Stop.
That's a real person.
You know what I'm talking about.
Aaron Sorkin.
Yes, thank
Aaron
you.
Sorkin's masterclass on
The
screenwriting.
more you did that, the farther I was going to get from getting the name right. It was just getting worse and worse. Yes, Aaron, you've watched the Aaron Sorkin one before, right?
I watched a couple. I haven't seen all of them.
Well, just the way masterclass works, do you pay for each class individually?
You can. I'm pretty sure you can do that, but you can also do a subscription thing.
Oh,
where you pay once a year, and you get to see any of the classes that you.
Oh,
want
that's
to
really cool. Have you watched the Serena Williams one to learn to play tennis?
Absolutely.
No, you haven't. Otherwise, you'd be challenging me to play tennis to prove your skill.
No, I didn't watch Serena Williams. I watched some of the Steph Curry one. He was talking about shooting and shit and shooting form. I was like,
why would you want to learn that from him?
I know, right?
Fucking scrub.
I watched some of the Scorsese one on directing.
Okay.
That was pretty interesting. The only ones that I've seen all the way through now are the Aaron Sorkin one and the Neil Gaiman one.
Both on writing, I guess. I'm guessing.
So Aaron Sorkin's is specifically screenwriting, and Neil Gaiman's is on storytelling. That's
okay.
his.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Neil Gaiman is someone who has written a lot of novels, graphic
Sandman,
novels.
American Gods.
Yeah. Good Omens.
Yeah, which just got turned into a TV show that is apparently really good.
Another one that I didn't realize until I watched this. He wrote the novel Coraline.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I didn't know that either. I haven't seen Coraline. I've heard a lot of good things. But yeah, there was a couple ideas that he shared that I was like, I'm gonna keep that forever. One of his first videos was on inspiration, and he talked about how he views his, like, where he gets his inspiration from as basically like a compost heap. For those that don't know what a compost heap is, like, basically, like, when you garden, you can throw like all of like your fucking bad fruits and rotting fucking banana peels and stuff like that into, you know, a corner of your yard or whatever, and fucking throw in a bunch of worms, and it creates, basically, you make your own fertilizer, right? So that, like, once everything dries and rots, it becomes, you know, what you can use for your garden later on, right? And he basically talked about, like, everything that you get inspiration from, like, whatever it's the music that you listen to, and he also brought up his wife, who is Amanda Plummer. I'm pretty sure she's like a rock star. I brought up that Power of Will fucking book that I read earlier on in this year. She, like, there was a chapter about her.
Oh wow.
And I had forgot about it until, like, I looked up Neil Gaiman again. I was like, oh shit, that's right. So when he was bringing up his wife, like, he was talking about how she's like a rock star, and when people ask her about her influences, she usually answers with, like, with musicians, right? And apparently he was talking about, like, he was like, the one thing that she doesn't share that, like, she feel like she should, is, like, the fact that she was, like, really influenced by Judy Blume growing up. Okay. She read a lot of those books, and like, she felt like it really, like, shaped. She really enjoyed them, and
yeah, like, why are you only like, you're a musician, so obviously people want to know your musical influence, but the other things are also important to who you are.
But it's also kind of, it's weird on the surface.
Yeah,
you know,
but
like,
I think that's kind of interesting
for you to be like, oh well, okay, like, where do you get your inspiration from, or like who has influenced you?
But I also think that, like,
Judy Blume. You know?
I think we're, like, more and more accepting of people who are multifaceted, the Donald Glovers of the world. Yeah, that I want to hear that about people. I want to hear the other things that make them who they are. That's cool.
Yeah. And it's something that, like, it hasn't, like, I don't think people have changed really. I'm a firm believer in that, like, if someone is, like, really good at a specific art form, they can usually translate that into a different medium. You know, like, whatever it is. You know, like, if Kid Cudi wants to make a film, he can make a fucking film. I'm pretty sure he has. But he's gone into acting, at least. Yeah. You know, if Kendrick Lamar wanted to become a director, he could do it. I think that just a lot of the facets of just knowing one medium and being really good at one art form, right? Or just a lot of that is just very translatable. First of all, just knowing the process. Getting good at anything will help you with getting good at another thing. You know, so, like, getting really good at wrestling is going to help you get really good at writing, because you're going to know how hard you need to work. You're going to have to, you're going to know what work.
There's always translatable skill sets.
Yeah, there's translatable skill sets, but, like, specifically within art, you know, like, I don't think that it's like, you know, it's not like learning how to be a surgeon. You know what I mean? I don't think that it's as, like, untranslatable as that.
So the compost heap thing is like...
So the compost heap thing is like... So you just take all of these things and you write them down. And he's, like, a firm believer in freehand or you know, like, pen and paper writing. Yeah. He says that he always carries a notebook around with him, and he always writes.
You hear that a lot.
And he says that, like, whenever he, like, experiences anything that, like, might, whether it's a movie, whatever, like, it kind of influences, whether it's a fucking moment that he has while he's, you know, in his garden, whatever, like, he'll throw that in his, you know, metaphorical compost heap and let it rot, and you have no idea when that's going to end up being fertilizer for another idea. And I was like, that's a fucking really cool thing to, that's, like, a really cool way to symbolize that. Yeah. That idea is really interesting. Yeah, he's a fucking fascinating dude. I haven't read, like, a lot of his shit. Like, I don't. You haven't read anything?
I've read a few issues of American Gods. That's it.
Another one that, like, he does an entire video that's like 30 minutes just on comics, and his process for writing comics. And he starts off with, like, comics are really different because, like, he was like, there's a method for writing comics. There's as many methods for writing comics as there are people who write comics.
Yeah, it's very it's a
has
very
their own-
unspecific science.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there's like the Marvel method or whatever, but like everyone does them differently. Whenever you hear writers talk about them,
Yeah, and basically, like what he does, he went through his process for Sandman, and he had like some old fucking. Basically, he just fucking takes like a bunch of computer paper and then like folds them up into like make like a 24-page comic, and then staples them, and then fucking like does like little fucking doodles.
Yeah.
And like on the left side, like he describes what the panels are. And he does that as well as like makes this letter basically to the artists and everyone that's going to be involved in and it
pencil or
explains
inker, letterer, all those people.
well, yeah, and everyone that's involved in the comic making process, he introduces them to all of the ideas that he wants.
That's cool.
In his comics. It's really fucking cool.
I always think it's interesting, like, because like you said, there's so many different ways people write comics, and it's always interesting to see which types of people incorporate the paneling into it. Not all writers do, and that's interesting to me. Like, some of them just are like, here's what's said, and here's what happens on this page.
Yeah.
And they just leave it to the artist to format it however they want, and it's interesting.
Yeah. He gave a lot of like interesting examples as far as like specific reasons why he does like sort of a vague paneling of it.
I mean, I feel like it's important for pacing and stuff like that, probably.
Well, it's not just pacing, but it's like the revealing of information.
Yeah.
Right. Like you read a lot of fucking comics, right? Like you always put, the twist, right? You put it on the left side of the page. Right. And yeah, like it's.
You won't have to flip the page to reveal
you
it.
have to know how your information is going to be told to your audience, so in whatever medium it is. But like it's a lot more difficult, I think, with comics because it's not like movies, because it's a multi-step process. So like when you're writing a movie, all you have to do is write a screenplay, and then the director and cinematographer and then everyone else has to make that movie for you. But with comics, it's so much more intimate and complex. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Sounds interesting.
There's a lot of interesting stuff about humor as well. Like he's a pretty like funny guy. He gave like very like specific ways to like include humor. Into like it's almost like too elaborate to like really get into.
Watch the masterclass to learn it.
Yeah, I guess.
You can't learn it secondhand, really. What do you think? Like, is masterclass worth subscribing to? Would you say?
So,
is there enough there?
I've also seen some of the Steve Martin stuff as well. He has a
about playing banjo.
No, he does play banjo in the masterclass, but it's on comedy.
I don't care about him doing comedy. I want him to teach me to play banjo.
Teach me to play banjo. He taught himself how to play banjo, right?
And he's that good? That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
He's actually a really fucking good banjo player.
Well, like I brought that up, right? Like fucking, Steve
translating art.
Yeah. Translating art forms, right? Like fucking Steve Martin's an incredible banjo player, right? But it's just kind of like one of those, like he incorporated that into a stand-up act. So it's not like completely hidden away, but like Woody Allen's like an incredible clarinet player.
That's weird. That's a random ass instrument to be really good at. Like, that's super weird.
But it's also like, yeah, of course Woody Allen.
Yeah. Clarinet's weird. God. It's different than saxophone.
Does it have its own embouchure?
Embouchure, yeah.
Did I say that right?
You're close.
Embouchure. Brochure.
Yeah, I think it. I don't know. Did I ever play clarinet?
It's basically the same thing.
I mean, it's a reed instrument. It's similar, but like in saxophone, you play it this way. In clarinet, it's this way. So like it's different, like direction. It's kind of weird. I guess if you could hold it up. I played like soprano sax a little bit, and that's kind of similar. It's like a straight instrument. I fucking hated soprano. Fuck that instrument. It's fucking sucks.
That's for bitches, dude.
But like, yeah, it's just a little different. I don't know why I was thinking about it so hard. I was like, you know what? You know what's really fucking hard to play? Flute. Flute is hard.
I would guess.
You know, like you need so much air to play flute because half of the air you use doesn't get used for the music. It just goes away.
Right.
You are acting like you are interested.
No.
I can't tell if you are.
I am. I'm fucking. I'm trying to learn piano. I can respect the difficulties.
I
of trying to
picked
learn
up a
an
flute
instrument.
once, and I was like, I'm gonna try this, and it was like really fucking hard. And I was like, I'm gonna stop trying this.
Yikes.
Yep.
I tried playing a sax once.
You did?
Yeah, I tried playing Mikey's sax once.
How'd that go?
Huh?
Did you make
I think I made a sound.
Did it sound honky? Not like honky tonk, but like honk like a honky noise.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people that don't know.
I like literally made a sound.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people
cool,
that don't really know how to play like a saxophone. When they try it, they just make honking noises. It's really weird. Yeah, you got to get that embouchure, dude. You got to fucking lower lip over the teeth. You got to bite down on the top of the mouthpiece.
I think Mikey was like
you got to
giving
get
me that.
tight corners on your lips. And then when you're like me and you play every day, basically through middle school and high school, because you're in band in school, you get fucking marks on your bottom lip because you're always biting it.
Really?
It's fucking brutal, man. Like I probably had you know how like what sport do you get calluses in?
Weightlifting?
Yeah, like if you get calluses from, I
Baseball?
probably had calluses on my bottom lip from just biting it all the time, playing sax all the time. I should pick mine up and see if I still got it. I do that like every 9 months. I just grab it and I'm like, can I still fuck around in concert F blues?
Mm-hmm.
And I go, all right, yeah, I can still fuck around, and I just put it back.
It's like me doing stance in motion in the kitchen sometimes.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. It's just like, can I be like, I'm like, all right, I'm good. Yep, all right, I still got it. Still got that fucking high school level jam. You want to do shout outs?
Yeah, we can do shout outs. You want to go first?
Sure. My shout out is a person on YouTube. I discovered her through Matt Colville, who I've talked about before. She is, her name is Dale Kingsmill. She's Australian. Her YouTube channel is called Monarch's Factory. She does a few different types of videos on her channel. So it's like she does some D&D stuff. She does, she has like a web series called Wolfgang that like her and a couple of her friends make, where it's like they film it like a stationary camera, like it's sitting on their coffee table, and you can see like a couch and the kind of like this, like you can see into our kitchen and the couch, and they just sort of they're like werewolves. Their characters are werewolves, and they come back from escapades and they do little scenes, and they're kind of weird. The thing that's really cool, she does
to me like intellectual property theft.
Maybe
Fucking Tyler Creator.
Sure.
Wolfgang robbing him.
Oh, I don't know. Anyway, the like her like bread and butter is mythology videos. She talks about a bunch of different mythology stuff. She tells like stories from Greek mythology and different types of gods from different ancient cultures. That's like what she was when she started her YouTube channel. She was in school for, and she has now graduated and has a degree in mythological study shit. And she does really interesting videos on that. So that's my shout out. Check her out, especially if you like mythology and stuff. And fairy tales, like Faerie, like old school, like fairy tales, like the spooky kind. Yeah, the OG shit. Talks about those too. Mm.
I also have a YouTube channel.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. It's called Behind the Curtain. Behind the Curtain YouTube channel. So there's a lot of like video essay fucking YouTube channels out there, which I subscribe to a lot of them, like I think Nerd Writers one, the Lessons from the Screenplay is another one. This one's actually really interesting. It's Behind the Curtain, and it's not as much a video essay as it is like. So this dude, what he does is he'll make a video like how they wrote The Office, right? And he'll take.
I think I saw that in my suggested videos this week.
Well, yeah, it's popping off. But it's a really cool video. I would specifically recommend that one. His YouTube channel, Behind the Curtain. Behind the Curtain. but he basically just takes a lot of interviews from whatever creator it is, right? Whether it's the Office writers, right? Whether it's Quentin Tarantino, right? And he'll just completely put them like all the snippets of what they say, their little quotes. He'll put them all together in like a really good order, and then throws in.
Does he throw in scenes and stuff too?
He throws in some of their scenes from their respective
projects.
So I watched the Quentin Tarantino one as well as the Office one, but it's from the creators themselves, and I think he did an Aaron Sorkin one as well. I'm not positive, but yeah, just really fascinating shit, and it's not like people speculating on other people's shit. It's from the actual creators themselves, talking about their own work and talking about the process of what they were doing. Yeah. So I highly recommend it. Behind the Curtain YouTube channel.
Dope. Shout out to Behind the Curtain and Monarch's Factory.
And Tyler the Creator.
I'm getting shout out to Tyler the Creator, I guess. Cool. Did you hear that?
What?
Oh, that was weird. I thought I heard feedback. Like, man, is this mic on? That was weird.
Okay.
My ear made it up. That wouldn't happen with these microphones. That makes no sense. Where was I? Poll. Go to the poll. Vote on the poll. Mm-hmm. Cowboy Bebop or Neon Genesis Evangelion. That will be our final spoiler episode for the month. Send us questions for a Q&A video. It's going to be fun. Find chrismichaelstott.com for his website. chrismichaelstott.
Yo, can I give a little drop?
Yeah.
I just put in a new short script.
Is it the one you're talking about?
No, not the one that I was talking about. Hopefully that's going to be done in a couple weeks. I've been writing a lot more. But I put a new short script up. This is like a script that I've had just on my computer for a couple years now.
You just didn't put it on
I'm
there?
going to pitch it real quick.
Pitch it.
Okay, so it's really fucked up. It's a dark comedy. And it's called... Yeah, I know, right?
Come on.
Okay, it's a dark comedy called Suicide: An Origin Story. Suicide: An Origin Story.
Like colon.
Yes, an origin story, right? But it's basically about this dude that tries to commit suicide and inadvertently gives himself superpowers, right? And now that he's become this like invulnerable, indestructible, superpowered being, he keeps trying to kill himself, and it's not working. But yeah, it's really fucked up. I like it was like over this past couple days, I was looking at it and I was just like looking through my hard drive, looking at the different, and it was like in my like miscellaneous file. I didn't even like give it its own file, which I normally do for my stories. And I don't remember when I wrote it. It might have been like when I was in the Navy still. But I remember reading back through it and like I genuinely like laughed at a lot of the shit that I wrote, and I was like, wow, this is really fucked up. So I enjoyed it. So I was just like, all right, well, fuck it. I'm gonna make a poster and then just throw it up on my site. So you guys can check that out.
That's on there. The watermelon one's on there.
My feature is on there.
Yep.
It's like a romantic.
What can I remember the name of it?
The Fourth Type.
That's right.
Fourth Type is on there.
There's a few others on there.
A War Continuum is on there.
What is the full title of the watermelon one? I just remember watermelon being in the
A Life
title.
Without Watermelon.
That's right. I like that. So chrismichaelstott.com to read those. Chris Michael Stott on Instagram. I am Davinwell25 on Twitter and Instagram. The show, The Chris and Kyle Show, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on all podcasting platforms. tcaks pod on Twitter. You can find the polls on Twitter and Facebook. Hit us up with the comments sections anywhere for questions and comments. Like, share, rate, review, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. We will be back later this week for a spoiler episode. That's kind of on Zombieland, but like we rambled a lot. It was
talking about vampires.
Yeah,
it got
weird. It's fun though. So come back for that. We will be back. We out.
Stay weird.